Greetings, dear friends. We meet today at the last day of distribution of the Capricorn festival. Today we start the new cycle of meditation for the common good with the topic Will to Freedom, Unity and Harmony, Radiating the One Human Heart. This topic was selected, chosen, and synthesized from the sharing at the preparatory meeting, which Tracy will remind us about all those ideas that were offered into the group chalice. And this topic is aligned with the theme that we hold during the times when Sun moves through the signs of the cardinal cross. New leadership, cleaning the house of religion and the house of politics. So we will use today the opportunity of the high tide of the spiritual energy to meditate, invoking the vision, the unfolding plan, and invoking the guidance of the seniors in the hierarchy, our senior disciples and masters in the hierarchy, to inspire and direct our group in recognition of what is unfolding now, what are the plan for humanity. Thank you for joining today, and let us begin. And as always, we start with sounding the statement of purpose for our work. Over to you, Birgit.
Thank you, Alexander. Our purpose is to magnetize the ideas of common good, freedom, and brotherhood as the highest values of humanity at this time. We recognize and cherish diversity of perspectives in our group, creating a space capable of invoking, receiving, interpreting, and radiating a higher synthetic vision. We serve as an Asramic outpost, building a group bridge of Buddhic energy. We evoke the soul of humanity. We envision humanity as being the seed that is flowering. We prepare the way for the reappearance of the coming one. And over to you, Tracy.
Thank you, Birgit. Thank you, everyone, for being here today in this full moon meditation for the common good. As Alexander said, we start out by reading the seed thoughts that were gathered from our first quarter moon meeting and meditation. And from these seed thoughts, our topic is created for this cycle. And the cycle we are in is Capricorn. So without further ado, I will read the seed thoughts that came from the first quarter moon meeting, of which there were 10. First seed thought, number 1. Open-heartedness to change. Number 2. The light of intuition. Number 3. Let harmony flow from our hearts into the hearts of humanity. Number 4. Harmony and beauty and joy. The bridge for initiation. Number 5. Systems that support a new light. Number 6. Will to turn from the light and allow it to shine through our hearts. Number 7, will to manifest harmony and light. Number 8, and thus I stand. Number 9, the evolving house of religion and politics, bringing spirit into matter. And finally, number 10, freedom, brotherhood, and right relations. And from these seed thoughts, our topic this cycle is will to freedom, unity and harmony, radiating the one human heart. So let us take a deep breath together as we begin to go into our meditation. Sense the warmth of our hearts as we merge ourselves into our group and into our group heart. Together we hold up our group chalice and invoke impressions and energies that will guide and support the common good of all humanity and our planet at this time. Our motive and intention is to be of selfless service as we assist all human and planetary life and activity. We focus together today as one mind and one heart, and prepare to receive the higher thoughts, impressions, and energies, which will later be distributed at the time of the new moon. So let's begin our alignment. Align and connect with our group heart, the group ajna, the group soul. And from this, we connect to the group antakarana. Our group connectivity and radiance attracts the planetary hierarchy and all the unseen beings and souls who join us and aid our invocation and evocation efforts on behalf of our service to all mankind and planetary life. We come now into quiet receptivity to receive the energies, ideas, and impressions that come available to us at this time. When working throughout this cycle in Capricorn, we are reminded of the two great gates of the zodiac. Cancer, which opens the door and admits the soul into human incarnation, and Capricorn, which admits the soul into conscious participation in the life of the world center we call the hierarchy. The hard-earned lessons we have individually and collectively experienced is culminating into a greater awareness and consciousness of who we are and where we stand within the kingdom of humanity. We are awakening from what seemed to be an everlasting sleep. We hold within us the wisdom of the ages. Our essence is one of malleability, forged by sacrifice. We are now at a point in human history where we not only see, but know the polarity between spirit and matter, and are becoming active participants in working to balance and harmonize this pair of opposites. Up the steep mountain we climb as animal man begins its transition into spiritual man. We achieve the hard-earned privilege of walking the narrow, razor-edged path that links both worlds and it has brought us to the entrance of the second gate. The door is opening, but our work not yet complete. Capricorn is known to be one of the most difficult and mysterious signs of the zodiac, according to the Tibetan. Sometimes called the signature of God, the glyph or symbol of Capricorn has never been drawn correctly because its correct delineation would produce an inflow of force that would be undesirable. So it is no surprise that to pass through the second gate and take the third initiation, one must master the physical, emotional, and mental nature of the animal man. Only then, spiritual man may enter into conscious participation in the life of the world center we call the hierarchy. The initiate, the world disciple, free from the limitations of matter. This is the true freedom, where harmony abounds and selflessness unfolds into right relationships with all. Together we join at the top of the mountain, together as a group, each one of us offering our finest virtues and qualities to be synthesized and used to uplift each other and all humanity. Here we become one united human aspiration. The hard work of Capricorn brings rewards and paves the way for the reappearance of the Christ. The Capricornian energies, which bring us to our knees and humble us, now open our heart and soul as we realize we are one with our brothers and sisters. And through selfless service to each other, we pass through the second gate together. No soul left behind. The plan now is truly intuited, and our constructive efforts become inevitable. There is no lost motion as we follow the great law of economy, for we are one, and our resonance together attracts the Devic kingdom and nature spirits who respond by matching our vibrations and frequencies of unity, harmony, and freedom. The one human heart radiates, fabricating a higher new reality, which reveals itself to all and for all to experience on all planes. Let us reconnect with our topic for this cycle. Will to freedom, unity, and harmony, radiating the one human heart. Will to freedom, unity, and harmony, radiating the one human heart. Let us breathe together. We now prepare to contemplate and ponder on the following questions. Question number 1. Postulate 4 of the Ancient Wisdom Teachings states that all of the infinite number of parts of the one great life are interconnected. Thus, the smallest cell does not pulsate, nor the largest sun emanate, without their vibrations and energies felt throughout the cosmos. How can we, as world servers, amplify the quality of wholeness to create a higher resonance in this great life for all to feel? How can we, as world servers, amplify the quality of wholeness to create a higher resonance in this great life for all to feel? Question number 2. Esoterically speaking, true freedom is to be free from the limitations of matter. What practices, thoughts, energetic contributions, etc., can we promote safely to bring this awareness to others so it can manifest itself in our outer reality? True freedom is to be free from the limitations of matter. What practices, thoughts, energetic contributions, etc., can we promote safely to bring this awareness to others so it can manifest itself in our outer reality? And our final and third question. By using the will, we can bring our focus on unifying all life. How can we outwardly express and demonstrate this unification in our everyday lives so it can affect others? By using the will, we can bring our focus on unifying all life. How can we outwardly express and demonstrate this unification in our everyday lives so it can affect others? It is time now to return from the depths of our pondering. As we draw together the impressions from our contemplation, let us allow them to take form. They may come to us as words, pictures, symbols, sound, or even colors. Drawing our impressions together, we now rest in silence for a few more moments. We see our impressions flowing together into the group heart, filling our chalice and vitalizing it with radiant light, enhancing its beauty and wisdom and its tone. Together, we direct this light upward to the hierarchy and await their blessings upon it. And now, realizing our invocation today, we witness its radiance pouring downward from our chalice into the lower planes, stimulating all receptive hearts and minds. And as we close our work today, let us identify with the soul in all and apply our efforts to be in accordance with divine will. We send forth the results of our efforts, thoughts, love, and the energy of our group's work to help humanity and our earth in all its diversity and ultimate unity through its transformational journey into the sacred. And we do this through focused direction of energy from our group ajna, sending the light out to higher beings, to other spiritual groups, to the soul of humanity, and to all sentient beings as we assist the forces of light. Let us now ground our work today and the energies we have invoked as we sound the great invocation. From the point of light within the mind of God, let light stream forth into human minds. Let light descend on earth. From the point of love within the heart of God, let love stream forth into human hearts. May Christ return to earth. From the center where the will of God is known, let purpose guide all little human wills, the purpose which the masters know and serve. And from the center which we call humanity, let the plan of love and light work out, and may it seal the door where evil dwells. Let light and love and power restore the plan on earth. Om. 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 Let us hold a few more moments in silence to write down our impressions before we open our time of sharing. Also know that the Community Impressions Board is now available on our homepage of the 2025initiative.org website. And we extend an open invitation to continue sharing these impressions that we receive across the next 2 weeks as we prepare for the evocation at the time of the new moon. Thank you.
Thank you, Tracy, for leading us in meditation in this cycle of Capricorn. And we will continue holding the tension of group focused on the topic and questions that we started reflecting today for the next 2 weeks. And as Tracy mentioned, that at the time of the new moon, we will come together again to continue our sharing of impressions and offer the most resonant seeds, the most resonant recognitions related to these questions, and to be magnetized and radiated as thought forms that would help humanity in this challenging time of transformation. Now we're opening the floor to share our impressions. And so I just want to add that I welcome those of you who join in our circle today for the first time. I invite you to feel free to unmute yourself and share in any moment. And there is no any special process for sharing. We hold the focus in the group heart and listen together to the impressions that come through the group and through each of us as we share, and try to build up on each other's recognitions and add in our own recognitions into the group chalice. So when you feel drawn to share, please just unmute yourself and offer what comes to you this time.
I can start us off. I really am going to focus on that question number 3. When I sat with that in that short spirit of silence, I kept hearing just be inclusive, be inclusive, be inclusive. And when one is inclusive, it demonstrates that unification. And it's tied up with being respectful for all of life and being present with whoever or whatever you are standing in front of, listening, but really paying attention to whoever that is in real presence. And the other thing that came is that part of unification is the we instead of the me. And to use that we, and sometimes instead of, I think, maybe creating the we in that belief or that understanding. We might look at this way, or we look at things sometimes like this instead of I, because I think part of that unity is the plurality of the one and the many, and just recognizing that that we all belong to that same living whole. So just inclusivity, I think.
Thank you, Andrea, for leading us off. When the first thing that came probably into my brain after the question 1 is connect the dots. And that's what I thought when I took it, when I went into silence because I wasn't sure. I didn't want to have my assumptions get in the way of what may be burbling. I remembered a story that a friend I've known for over 50 years, and I know her past and where she came from and what it was like being her in the foothills of Appalachia and then becoming an honor student and then to be very connected to the duality between the masses and the thinkers. She currently is teaching at Barnard College in New York, and she had she was very steeped. Her learning, her framework of understanding was human rights law. She was an honor student, and she's had high positions in Amnesty International and Human Rights Watch. But she had an experience that kind of floored her. And it was an epiphany where in the classroom she came to recognize that human rights law would never bring about the justice that we seek. She was her framework of understanding collapsed in a way, and she was coming to terms with the fact that for us to be where we want to be in relation to justice and mercy, we needed to change our mindsets. And while she was able to describe the collapse within herself of so-called understanding, at the same time she was teaching and she had to pivot. And the mindset that she was beginning to pivot toward just to address the situation, it applies to what Andrea said about being present. She was present to a woman in her class, a young woman who had been the children of Bangladeshis who were directly impacted by the war between Pakistan and Bangladesh. And the young woman, anguished, asserted how much she hated Pakistanis. And my friend recognized, was able to at least bring to mind not an answer or a rejection, but simply the question, was this her parents' mindset or was this truly her own? Because if it was truly her own, she would be forever imprisoned by it. And she was able to describe the experience of becoming something different by collapsing her own assumptions. So I brought this ponder to this questions, but I wasn't thinking about it when we started this contemplation. But I'm going to take it back into this first thought, connect the dots. It always feels to me that wholeness is such a big term in being human. How do we become truly whole? But it, when I was hearing both the pain and the discovery of my friend, I felt a quality of joy. I didn't say it to her, but Okay, this is what changes. This is what transmutation looks like. When we're in a situation, something can get pulled from us that we don't even, value maybe. But something about this is taking me to a deeper understanding of freedom from the limitations of matter. Thank you for listening.
I'd like to say something to that came to me whilst I was listening to Martha, which was um, it's about this the law and human the law of human rights. Our Prime Minister over here in the UK is was a human rights lawyer. He's very steeped in the law, and there's been a lot of discussion going on about our friend Trump um, and his actions in Venezuela. And people saying to our Prime Minister, what is your opinion about this? And he is prevaricating and won't say. He says he's waiting to see what America says is its legal justification for the acts which they undertook. And I had the radio on for a short while this morning, and it was interesting how people were saying it. He may be a lawyer and want to know the exact legality of what has occurred, but this isn't the point. We as everyday people know that this is not right. And I think that speaks to some of these questions of it's not the matter or the legality of things. It has to go deeper or higher, whichever way you like to go, um, and be the truth of the situation, not the matter and the written legal law. And it sounds a little bit as if Martha's friends also came to that realization that, and that links in with that whole first question, this wonderful infinite parts of one great life. It's always bigger, it's always greater, as well as being right down into the minutiae. And the thing that came to me in the meditation particularly was all the time this: how do I live this? How I listen to these gatherings. I take part. I do the meditations. I think about these things a great deal all day. But am I really living it? Are other people, when they meet me, are they picking up the love? Are their hearts also opening? How am I living every moment? And all those thoughts, are they helping in this living of it, bringing that wholeness through without getting stuck in the dense physical, the emotional, and the mental forms. Lots of questions came in, and thank you for listening to me.
Hi to everyone. I would like to contribute a little something to the discussion. I think maybe I'll start in a way with three. I'm not sure. Anyway, they've all sort of blended together in my consciousness, the questions. But I think by the effort we make to be our true selves, there's an energy created, and we don't always see the results of it. Occasionally we do. I think by the effort we make, the work we do, the effort, like I say, to be who we truly are, we're influencing by our radiation, by our energy, and this influence is supported and intensified by our group connection. By living in the awareness of the true self, and by thinking of that and trying to be conscious of it as much as possible, and conscious of our group connection as much as possible, we do important work. And I saw that in a couple of ways recently. I tuned into the United Nations group yesterday for the first time. And although it's a different energy than what we have here in our group now, although I know many of you were there, it's a different energy. But at the same time, I found that the thoughts and concepts and so forth that we work on here were very similar and sometimes the same as those worked on in the UN group. And I hadn't been aware of that before. So that was a wonderful experience to see how really interconnected we are. I keep seeing it in so many ways, how the new group of world servers, how we're all connected telepathically, especially I see through 2025, how interconnected we are in our hearts and minds. Another experience I had was New Year's Eve. A friend of mine that I meditate with quite a bit invited us all over to share a small party together. There were maybe 10 or 12 of us. And she also invited a couple people that are friends of hers from work that I'd never met before. And when I saw them the next day, on New Year's Day, I saw some of the people again for our regular Friday meditation. And a couple of my friends said, Lynn, these women, these two new women, really liked you so much. They were so amazed by your gentleness and your, various qualities. And I knew they weren't personality qualities. It was the connection that we all have, the connection we have to our souls, that they were sensing, but not knowing what it was quite. They were sort of amazed, I guess, in some way. And I know it wasn't me. personality-wise. It was some sort of energy flowing through me that even that evening at a quiet party. So right now, that's the experience I have to share. I really do believe, as DK says, we can't always look for results, but we can feel our highest self as much as possible flowing through us, and our connection to one another flowing through us. And it really does affect the environment, I'm hoping, with more and more power. And as more of us join in and the group becomes larger and larger, that, that power will just take over the world eventually. Anyway, thank you. Sending love.
Lynn, your share was deeply moving. I thank you for helping me connect the dots.
Hello, everyone. I think I've been writing recently about discernment, and I think that's something that we should definitely work on with our work, because there are some people who will know that you sort of think already that no, it's no point broaching the subject with them because they just will not accept it. But there are others who you think, yes, they probably would understand and give it some thought. So I think discernment in our work is very important. And we should always try to respect everyone we connect with, accepting that diversity is everywhere in life. And one incident I had that kind of shocked me at the time, but you've got to understand this sort of thing happens, I suppose. I was speaking to a couple I knew who had a son who was a policeman. And his mother said, "Oh," she said, "I just wish all those horrible people he has to arrest were dead." And I was just absolutely shocked, but she was just overreacting at the personality level. She didn't intend it or mean it, I'm sure, because she's not that type of person. So I think we've got to just take everyone as we find them and not judge them, but be understanding of them.
Thank you, Jill. That's a very good point. Yeah, it's um, not judge people by their emotions and to distinguish what is the true uh, person and who they are in their heart and their sometimes quite harsh emotional reactions. Because yeah, each of us, we also regularly find ourselves in that state of reaction, and that's just part of our human nature. And instead of reacting on someone's reaction, to maintain that balance and uh, allow space for someone to just to come into balance, be next to us and radiating that balance ourselves and not judging exactly. And it's interesting to think about the keynote of Capricorn, is that lost am I in light supernal, and yet to that light I turn my back. And so it's be that be in that position that allows us to radiate the soul light, as Lynn said, and just be and allow the light of soul to flow through us. And that's especially now at this time of turmoils when the things seems to be going upside down, is a very important service to be the stable point of radiance. And if sometimes we get reactionist ourselves and emotional, then just to acknowledge it and say sorry, and move forward. It's I think it's one of the lessons that we all learn, is that it's not important how many times we fall. It's important how many times we rise. And so that's recognizing, saying, oops, sorry, my fault, and move forward and learn from our falls. I really like the expression, if you do something, no, I forgot how it sounded. I didn't use this expression for a long time. When you do something, like you learn and experiment, try to fail fast. Meaning that if you fail, you learn and you move forward. And you do it next time right, or maybe not next time, but in 2 times or 3 times. But just to have this cycle of falling and rising up as fast as possible. And that's the speed that makes us more and more, well, makes us learn and makes us what disciples are. It's about learning.
Can resonate deeply with the concept of discrimination. But first of all, self discrimination. So not to fall into judgment, but discriminate when we vibrate lower than it is required. So not to judge, but to raise their vibration. So when we, to me, like fall and raise, and just fall and rise, it's about the vibration. And a long time ago, I believe I read that understanding, it's the quality of a Buddhi subplane of the mental plane. So it is this Buddhi subplane, it's where the energy of the soul comes through to the mental plane. And it is long time ago, for millennia, understanding was a really beacon and goal to reach that point of understanding. But for the new group of world service, the disciples of the world, it is basically
standing ground. So our goal is not to fall from that, to make it our ground and stay in understanding. So whatever it is, to stay on this level. But when we individually work with our like relations to the world, I think it's helpful. So when I find myself in this position, oh, I don't understand, I'm asking myself, what do you mean? You don't understand? Like, shift. And yeah, so in the matter, the denser planes, what we call the matter, right? It's the idea is just to bring the vibration of the spirit into that matter and make it sing its note high and still keep the depth. Over. Thank you.
Thank you, Tracy, again for these very deep questions. And yeah, there's a lot of volume for us to expand on and reflect. Just one thing I want to say about the second question, what comes is about limitation of matter, is that for millennia we been in different monasteries. We practiced with overcoming limitations of matter by withdrawing from matter. And I think now we start learning and recognizing that in order to overcome limitations of matter, we need to master matter. First of all, matter within us, and then the matter around us. Let us continue holding these questions in focus. And before we close the sharing today, if anyone else would like to offer any recognitions or thoughts, and meanwhile, Tracy, can you please check the chat on Telegram to respond that we could confirm the date for Moon meeting. So if anyone would like to offer anything, please do now.
I would just offer something quickly that is what you just said, Alexander. It was that opportunity to sort of sit in silence and contemplate. And I think part of that is important. It is sitting in sort of silent conviction that we know that unity is a fact. And there's something about just that sense of truth, even within the silence, that I think
Right.
affects. No, go ahead.
I think that Lynn unmuted by mistake. Please continue. If you didn't finish.
No, I finished.
With young children, we say these words in the group.
Oh, Lynn, we couldn't hear you. There's some problems with connection, seems like. So let us continue holding these questions in our group field, and we can share our recognitions on the community impressions board. You can find the link in the chat now, or you can find it on our website. We will have opportunity to share more at the quarter moon meeting. We will meet next Monday, January 12th, at the same time, 7:30 p.m. Universal Time, same as today. So let us continue reflecting on these questions. And we're now coming to the end of our time together at this time. And as always, I invite anyone who would like to offer a mantra to close our work today, tonight, please do it.
I can do it. In the center of the will of God we stand. Naught shall deflect our will from His. We implement that will by love. We turn towards the field of service. We, the triangle divine, work out that will within the square and serve our fellow men. Om.